When it comes to New York City, many people first think of the Statue of Liberty, Wall Street, or the brightly lit Times Square. But beneath these glamorous landmarks lies another side of New York, a city that belongs to its true residents, rats. At nightfall, they emerge from sewers and garbage bags, claiming their territory. There is even an urban legend suggesting there are 5 times as many rats in New York as human residents, numbering in the tens of millions. While this figure is exaggerated, a 2022 assessment by the New York City Health Department and scholars estimated that there are around 250 to 300 million rats, roughly 1/3 of the city's population. Despite not being as extreme as the legend suggests, these numbers still paint a daunting picture. The sheer number of rats has made them an integral part of New Yorkers' lives, often seen in news reports about human encounters and attacks by rodents. This has led people to seek solutions for controlling the rat population. Recently, one proposal has caught attention from various parties, including scholars, introducing large numbers of natural predators that can combat the rat problem. However, implementing this task in New York is far more challenging than in other cities due to the unique nature of its rats. To understand why there are so many rats in New York, we need to look at what makes it one of the most suitable cities for them globally. Several factors contribute to this. 122 population density, with over 10,000 people per square kilometer and more than 25,000 restaurants generating about 12,000 tons of waste daily. 2. Garbage culture. Much of the garbage isn't placed in trash cans, but left on the streets due to past issues with blocked bins and lack of space for them. 3. Housing conditions. Many buildings from the early 19th and 20th centuries have numerous gaps in walls and foundations, providing ideal living spaces for rats. 4. Subway system. The extensive subway network, stretching nearly 400 kilometers underground, offers vast areas for rats to thrive. 5. Climate. New York's climate is conducive to year-round activity for certain species like the Norway rat, Rattus norvegicus. Initially, the black rat, Rattus rattus, was believed to be the first rodent in New York. Originating from India and Southeast Asia, they arrived via ships during maritime trade. These rats prefer dry, warm environments with vertical structures such as rooftops and attics. However, the Norway rat eventually took over due to its ability to dig burrows and thrive in damp conditions like sewers and basements. As New York developed, brick and concrete buildings replaced older wooden houses, squeezing out black rats while providing more habitat for Norway rats. Today, New Yorkers face a formidable opponent: millions of Norway rats that not only scare pedestrians, but also carry diseases and parasites harmful to humans. They've even caused power outages in the past. Efforts to control these smart and avoiding rodents have largely failed. So, some propose introducing natural predators on a large scale as a unique solution. This idea has garnered significant interest, but what would happen if it were implemented? Using historical examples like Borneo's cat population introduced to combat rats in the 1960s might provide insight. However, while this method worked initially, spraying DDT led to unintended consequences, affecting other insects and cats that relied on them for food. Would introducing predators solve New York's rat problem? It sounds promising but comes with its own set of challenges. The number of cats dropped dramatically. Things got worse when the local mouse population, which had been kept in check by the cats, began to grow out of control. The mice started destroying residents, food and crops, making the situation hard to manage. Villagers turned to the local government and the Royal Air Force for help. The solution was quite interesting. They dropped large numbers of cats into villages using parachutes attached to specially designed boxes. Each box could hold up to 23 cats. Once on the ground, these cats instinctively started hunting nearby prey. This method effectively controlled the mouse population. In 1960, villagers sent thank you letters expressing gratitude for the successful biological control action that eliminated their rodent problem. Would this strategy work in New York? Experts dismissed it outright. While cats can catch mice, urban environments offer different challenges. Mice in cities don't need to venture far for food due to abundant garbage and waste. Cats also have easy access to human food, reducing their hunting drive. Moreover, most of the mice in New York operate underground where cats rarely go. In addition, New York's dense buildings and complex streets make it difficult for cats to hunt effectively. From an ecological perspective, cats are not always natural predators of urban mice. More importantly, New York's mice differ from those in places like Borneo. In Borneo, black rats dominate the surface and rooftops, making them easy targets for cats. But in New York, it's the brown rat that reigns supreme, especially at night. These rats are larger and more muscular than other species, with some reaching over 40 centimeters long. With year-round food supply and cold winters favoring large individuals, these mice grow bigger than their rural counterparts by about 20 to 40%. Facing such formidable opponents, cats often avoid direct confrontation and hunt easier prey like birds and insects instead. So while cats can control small rodents in natural or rural settings, urban environments weaken this dynamic due to human and environmental factors if implemented. The initial influx of cats might seem effective as mice retreat deeper into hiding. But since cats want to target mice primarily, other animals like birds could suffer more. Humans would also face disruptions from cat populations. After a brief drop in mouse numbers, people may start removing cats, leading to increased costs for government removal efforts. Eventually, the cats would leave due to competition and human interference, allowing mice to return naturally. This is what scholars predict will happen if such measures are taken. What about using dogs instead? Some suggest this based on historical examples where dogs were trained to hunt rats in factories and mines during the 18th and 19th centuries. Modern teams still use dogs for rodent control, but simply dropping large numbers of dogs into New York wouldn't work either. Dogs aren't specialized rat hunters. They might catch a few mice by chance, but won't exert sustained pressure on the population. In urban settings, dogs mainly disturb rats temporarily rather than eliminate them. Effective rat hunting dogs require extensive training and selection to pose a real threat to rodent populations. Dropping untrained wild dogs into cities would cause traffic, security issues, and disease problems instead of solving the mouse problem. Another unique suggestion is using mongoose cat-like animals. This idea stems from historical efforts in Fiji, where mongooses were introduced to control rats during colonial sugar plantation development. However, long-term results showed failure across all locations due to various reasons including urban environments unsuitable for mongooses. And besides the cold climate, another crucial factor is that cats are diurnal animals opposite to nocturnal species, with non-overlapping schedules, making them inefficient at eliminating rats. They then turn their attention to other wildlife, causing even more severe ecological impacts than cats or dogs. Birds, reptiles, amphibians, and their eggs face significant threats from these invasive species, which is why they re-listed among the 100 most dangerous invasive species globally. Their destructive power surpasses that of cats, dogs, and other animals. Proposals to release large numbers of natural predators in New York City have been studied by scholars who concluded that such measures won't solve the rat problem, but will create new issues instead. Of course, these animals aren't entirely useless against rats, it is just that their proper use differs from proposed methods. For example, Chicago's Animal Protection Organization has a program called Cast at Work where they humanely trap feral cats, neuter them, vaccinate them, and provide food to make them accustomed to being cared for by humans. They can then be employed in specific areas like factories or homes to patrol and hunt rats. This method works well on a small scale but isn't effective citywide since the displaced rats simply move to less cat-populated regions. To truly rid New York of its rat problem, experts believe it is nearly impossible due to factors like dense residential and restaurant areas with old buildings where rats thrive. Simply put, wherever there is food and shelter, rats will flourish. In the eyes of experts addressing the city's garbage culture is key to solving the rat issue. No matter how many predators or traps are released, if the trash remains, it won't solve the problem fundamentally. This is why scholars consider it an impossible task despite New York City's efforts like sealed garbage bins and delayed garbage collection times. Ultimately, perhaps what needs to be rectified is not the city and the rats scurrying underground, but our own behavior.